This video response is going to go out to Vern Speicker. I believe that's how your name is pronounced, is Speicker. And if it's not pronounced that way, you are more than welcome to correct me. I'd love to hear from you. Okay? But the reason I'm doing this video response is because you wrote the following comment on my video entitled My Response to Rachel Stevens. I uploaded a video entitled My Response to Rachel Stevens. You wrote a comment on it, and I'm now responding to your comment. I'm sorry it took so long, but I wanted to say what I wanted to say. Okay? Alright, so what did you say? You said, well, I forced myself to listen to about a third of this, but I couldn't listen any longer. I don't know which Rachel Stevens you are talking about. There are 4 additional that come up when you search. Are you talking about Rachel Stevens of Crack Your Bible? You're all talking about secular scholars, not anything about the Bible. And by the way, she isn't saying children should not go to school. What kind of nut would say that? Trust God, not men. They will always let you down, but God won't. That was your quote to me. All right. Now, I will compliment you on at least attempting to watch all of my video. But after reading your comment, I concluded that you weren't a very observant viewer. You just weren't observant at all. Let's take this step by step. The first 15 seconds of the video wasn't supposed to be there in the first place. That was my error. Because I use this as a practice thing so that I don't stutter and stammer through an entire video. I don't know whether you were aware of this or not, but that's what I do. Okay? Alright. Now, how many of the other Rachel Stevens that you looked at had presentations on the topic of modesty? I'd like to know, because I searched myself, and I actually have provided a couple of hyperlinks down here to show you other people that are also named Rachel Stevens. They also have YouTube channels called Rachel Stevens, and I can tell you I didn't see a single video on their channels that had anything to do with modesty. Okay? This is the first flaw in your observation, because I actually told you I was covering the topic of modesty. She covered, the real Rachel Stevens of Crack Your Bible did cover the topic of modesty. And if you go through her videos, you'll see that. Okay? Now then. So, the first one I found had 11 videos, and none of them deal with modesty. And I've left a hyperlink down here to prove my point. Another channel had a photo shoot with another Rachel Stevens. There was a photo shoot. It had nothing to do with modesty at all. I didn't go ahead and leave that one. You can go see that for yourself. Another Rachel Stevens that I actually left here in the hyperlinks, okay, her channel had a single video which did not discuss modesty at all. So, my question to you is, didn't you actually connect the dots and say, okay, we need to find the Rachel Stevens that actually covered the topic of modesty? Because I guarantee you, none of the channels that you referred to covered the topic of modesty. Not one. And I dare you to prove me wrong. Okay, let's move on here. Oh, by the way, I'm running a live stream right now, so that's why I'm looking back and forth. My notes are over here on my laptop, and I'm running a live stream, so bear with me. Alright. Now, how many of the Rachel Stevens, now the Rachel Stevens I'm referring to is the Crack Your Bible Rachel Stevens. How many of her videos have you actually watched? Have you ever watched all of her modesty videos? Do you know that she and I both agree that kids should go to school? I never said that she didn't think so. I never said that I didn't think so. All I said was that I actually agree with her that kids spend way too much time in school. 12 years is way too long. Especially because I have now presented the speed reading and the memory techniques. Shoot, some of these kids could be out of school by the time they're a sophomore. That would cut at least 2 years off their schooling. If they're taking advanced placement calculus in the junior or senior year of high school, they don't have to be in high school anymore. Period. They're too smart for it. They don't need a full 12 years anymore, especially with what I've just presented. They don't. And I agree with her on that. Alright. Now, my video is approximately 27 minutes long. Now, why didn't you inquire to me about the oral information transmission? Okay? Back in the 1st century, Jewish people and Christians conveyed all their messages, and we're talking about Jewish and Christian messages, orally. They did eventually write this stuff down, but the first thing they did was convey the gospel messages orally. And there's some good reason as to why. Okay? Alright. Now, did you bother to check out any of the hyperlinks that I provided in the description of that particular video? I seriously doubt it. Okay, let's go on here. And you say I didn't bring up any Bible topic. Well, that is a very important Bible topic. How did the Bible get transmitted from person to person? It was not always textual. Why? Because those people, a lot of them, did not have the ability to read and write. So it'd be pointless to put it on parchment like that. Parchment is papyrus, okay? Putting it on papyrus was not only expensive at the time, but it also was going out to people that didn't really know how to read and write. There you go. All right. So I can assume you didn't even make it to the 3-minute and 30-second mark of my video, because if you had, you would have realized this. Okay. Near the 10-minute mark, I started discussing the meat and potatoes of Rachel's presentation. But I'm pretty confident that you never made it to that point in the video, because otherwise you would have discussed it with me. So to say that you watched a solid 10 minutes of my video isn't very honest, is it? Be honest. Had you reached the 15-minute mark of my video, you would have known for sure that I was addressing the Crack Your Bible Rachel Stevens. But I guess you couldn't endure another academic minute of my presentation. So, of course, you missed that. Here is my suggestion. I want you to rewatch the entire presentation and compare what I said to what Rachel Stevens said. And I suggest you watch my entire presentation before responding to me again. And when you respond to me again, carefully scrutinize what I said. Don't make so many generalizations. Alright. I want to thank you very much for going ahead and watching at least some of my video. And hopefully you will do as I say and watch the rest of it and critique every single thing that I said. And you'll see that what I said was true. Alright. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned.